Happy Valentine's Day, nail art fans. Today I'm showing you a funky alternative Valentine nail art design for the less romantic and cuddly amongst us. This design is based on a previous graffiti nail art design I did for a magazine some time ago. Not all clients like cuddly, lovely, pretty nail art. Some want bold and bright and funky designs, so this one is perfect for that type of client. For this design I'm using Hazel Dixon's gel paints, but you can use gel paints, gel polishes or acrylic paints. Just make sure that you know exactly how your product works and you're following manufacturer's instructions. Although YouTube tutorials are great and can help you to advance in your nail art and teach you new techniques, it's always advisable that you take training with the brand of product that you use. This is to ensure that you're using it correctly and safely. To begin my design, I'm using a tip and I've ombreed peach and pink for the background colour, and then I've outlined my design using black paint. I'm using my Hazel Dixon gel paints again for this design. So first of all I'm going to fill in the main block of colour for each part of the design, starting with the eye and then moving on to the heart. For this I'm using Casper and Cherry. For this part of the design I'm using a shading brush from Nail Artists. Next I'm going to fill in the iris colour with pale Arctic blue. I'm using my Hazel Dixon Zero detailer for these parts as it's finer. I filled in the parts of the arrow and now I'm moving on to using black gel paint called Jet to create the lashes on the eye. Now I'm using a dotting tool and Jet black gel paint to colour in the pupil in the centre of the eye. A dotting tool is a great little tool for creating graduating dots or to create dots the same size and can be used for all sorts of different designs. Once I've finished the pupil, I'm going to colour the iris in with a darker colour called indigo and start to create some shading effect and add detail. To create the colour for shading the heart, I'm using Jet, which is the black mixed with Cherry. I'm then using it around the edges and behind the ribbon to create a shadow effect. It's these type of highlighting and shading techniques that give the design its three-dimensional look and really make it jump out from the nail tip. Now for the shadow of the eyeball, I'm using Jet and Casper mixed together to make a very pale grey. So originally I was going to leave the ribbon the same colour as the background, however I've decided that it didn't stand out enough, so I've decided to paint it white instead. So sometimes you might find that a design doesn't stand out quite as much as you wanted it to, or something would look better than your original design, so don't be afraid to change things. Once I've finished the ribbon, I'm using the white to highlight the eyeball a little bit more. Once I've completed this, I'm going to cure the gel paints completely and then apply a clear gel top coat. This then creates a clear surface for me to continue painting on. Here I'm just adding a bit more shading using the black and cherry and using the grey mix. To blend my gel paints I use a light feathery tapping technique. Using the grey mix and now shading the ribbon. If you find that you've used too much gel paint, you can use a clean dry brush and wipe it away. This technique can also be used if you've made a line too thick sometimes, just to thin it out and make it finer. Now I'm going to use Jet and a fine detail brush to outline the whole design. So now I need to write the letters Y, O and U, and I'm using a detailer brush again with the black gel pen. As I've said before in previous videos, when you're doing letters you need to break them down into lines and dots. Don't try to paint the whole letter all at once. This usually makes it very difficult. If I make a mistake or I do one of the lines too thick, I'm using a clean Shadow Pro brush just to wipe them away and neaten it all up. Once you're happy with your letters, add some white highlights to the heart and also to the eye and the ribbon. What I'm doing here is just touching up some of the black parts of the design and thickening up the eyelashes. So once I top coated my design, I decided that it needed a bit more colour. So I'm using fuchsia and canary gel paints and an eyeshadow applicator to add a little bit more colour in the background. If you're going to try this design yourself, then it's a good idea to add this colour as the background first. However, if you're going to do it my way and apply it afterwards, then you can use a clean brush to wipe the colour off the design and then cure. You will need to go over some parts of the design again, as I am doing here, but it shouldn't make any effect to the overall look of the design at the end. When painting over bright or dark colours, you need to use a white background first. So paint your design out and block colour it in white, and then the colours will stand out more. So now it's time to add the white highlights and really bring the design to life. So for the finishing touches, I'm going to add sterling silver gel paint to the arrowhead. So as another afterthought, I decided it needed something more in the design, and what better to add than brickwork to a graffiti style design. Once you're happy with your design, apply a clear gel top coat and cure. I hope once again you've enjoyed watching my nail art tutorial. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, like the video and drop me a comment below. Thank you!